Fixed. Building shifts occur at random and without warning, but with the Bureau's cutting-edge technology, we can stabilize the oldest house. Safe employees are happy employees. Certain rituals allow agents to navigate the oldest house as well, but accidents do happen. Trapping agents inside the walls. I heard you got stuck in your room for 3 days, Topher. Too bad you didn't have your book with you. Or any food. And remember, kids, when you feel the floor deviate, it's already much too late.
Oh yeah, let's have our final return to Langston. About the runaways I found. And then we're pretty much going to wrap this up, I think. Unless he has another one for me already. No, I just want to leave. Leave me alone. You can't out-heal this damage. I one-shot these people. He has a bomb. You have a bomb. Aw. Bomb ineffective. Anyway, headshot. Headshots are hard. There you go. Ah, another one. That was nice. How many of you are there? I'm not even here for you. Go away. Hi. My melee is poop. No. God, you're so boring. Go away. I just fought Nega Jesse and a giant anchor that shoots mortar fire in clockwork directions. Why do you think I want to fight you? Come back when you're a giant blob monster that's 30 feet tall and has spider legs. Which is a thing that happened in this game, in optional content for some reason. Oh yeah, there's my melee. That's why it sucks. Because you have to manually upgrade that too. Just float more. At least I use that power. So is that the ending? It's a satisfying enough ending. I fought a mirror of myself. But if you got something else for me, then I'll check it out. Maybe I'll fight Knife Rain. Oh my god, it was all foreshadowing the whole time.
This paranatural power contained in one place is a risk.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder what other dangers are locked away inside the Bureau.
You're just now having that realization. These are weird things to say at the end of the playthrough.
I really need to dig out my old proposal on better containment practices. More ritual worship, iconography, the whole shebang.
I found all those missing altered items.
All of them? Wow, you have a gift, ma'am. But those weren't all of the altered items missing from the Panopticon. The hiss must be making them restless. We've had several more containment breaches.
How many of these things did he lose? How many?
Just a couple. Should be no problem for you. I really appreciate your help. Really. Just super.
Wow, we are not done here. Okay.
Can I get a situation report for the sector?
Okay, we still have to perform a proper inventory of the cells. Lord knows how many altered items snuck out during all this. Staffing. We definitely lost some people. Gonna have to hit those college career fairs, am I right? Huh.
Hard to imagine the FBC at job fairs.
The Hiss are still tearing up the place faster than we can fix it, but the containment sector is stable. Ish.
Considering the alternative, I'm happy with stable-ish. Any thoughts on me serving as director? I know it was a sudden change.
Oh, no complaints so far. Trench was all secrets, lots of meetings behind closed doors. You seem much more approachable. But if I can give you some advice, ma'am, keep a grip on who you are. I've been here a long time, and I don't know if it's the job or this place, but people change here, and not for the better.
I'll try to keep my head on straight. Will you stay on after things calm down, Langston?
Are you asking if I'm quitting? Oh, no, ma'am. I'm not having some mid-level agent make a mess of my panopticon. Plus, I'm racking up serious overtime hours with this lockdown. Just don't take too long clearing out the Hiss. My cat gets separation anxiety.
I'll do what I can. He must have gotten a pet sitter. I'll see you later, Langston.
I'll be here.
Yeah, I hope you have a pet sitter or your cat's gonna die. This game's been very long already. And we've been locked down this whole time. It's not great news for us. Containment, and research. We're in containment now, right? Yeah, but not the right area. Okay, yeah, we've broken my limit here, so I was thinking, oh, cool. We had the finale. We'll just have we'll have one extended little epilogue episode to wrap things up. There's a lot more than I expected. So this is gonna be, it's gonna be a few episodes of epilogue here, but okay. Badoop. That's fine. At least we're back to doing interesting things instead of the main story. I'm so confused by their thought-making process of how they chose to lay out this campaign. Not even a boss fight against your brother? Like, of all things, you would think that there'd be like a final boss fight against your Hiss brother. He shows up in every cutscene as like the embodiment of the evil Hiss and all the things he's up to. And he even ends the game in a coma. You know what would have really justified that is if you had to fight him in a crazy telekinetic back and forth fight, and then you had to fucking rip the Hiss out of him. Then that might be why he's in a coma. Instead, it's like they hired this actor to play this cool character that's really well, he does a cool particular performance and everything, and it's all this cool setup of your brother, and he's the #1 most introduced concept in the story. Is you keep talking about her brother over and over again. It's a primary motivation, and maybe it's a little tropey to fight him, to have him be the villain, but like it's a trope because it works in stories. Boy, do I not know how to get where I'm trying to go. This place drives me crazy. But then the brother does nothing. He just doesn't do anything. You have some talks with him as this cool half Hiss, but still kind of not compromised character, you know, like Saren. And then he doesn't do anything. And then he's in a coma after you cleanse him. And I'm just like, what? Okay. Weird. I mean, half the times you saw him, you couldn't tell if he was actually even your brother or if it was just showing up as being him. Kind of like how we had that looping thing of myself shooting Trench, then Trench shooting me, then my brother shooting Trench, and me shooting Trench, and my brother shooting me, or like that looping thing. Which hallway connects to that place? I think that It's so much harder to read this map than I ever think it's going to be. Yeah, prime can't. Yes, floor 2. It's like like if you look at the left side of that area, you look at those white lines, and you're like, okay, those white lines all separate different floors and distinctions. But there's the bottom part between security and prime candidate program, where there isn't a white line separating them, and it looks like a little staircase, a little divot. But that doesn't connect them either, and I'm like, but why is there no white line there? That would suggest that those areas are connected, but they don't seem to be, I think? But I don't know. This map double suffers from, like, it might have weird ways of denoting how it's laid out, like ways that don't match up with how you normally would have a floor plan actually look on a map, but also it has the issue of, like, it's so small on the screen. It's such a huge, complicated map that you can't zoom in on, and you can't look at it in any other better ways. So if you can't quite make out what you're looking at, it's like, well, run around in circles then. But I have a map. Nah. We don't feel like letting you look at the map up close. So we're looking for the mannequin. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I figured it'd probably be like at the end of the creepy, spirally area. Go away, you losers. God, I don't care about you. Go away. I'm trying to do the cool freaking sci-fi SCP crazy shit. You're like, but what if a guy with a gun showed up right now and tried to shoot you, but then you shot him first? Wow, that really adds to the experience. How exciting. That was my favorite part of Fringe. The gunfights. Hello.
God, the only thing creepier than one mannequin is a few dozen of the damn things.
That is a lot of mannequins. Are they interactive? Look at all these individual assets to tumble everywhere. Yay! Kind of wanted them to stay in long enough for it to hit the wall or something, and then they'll come exploding out. You cannot defeat me. I can jump over you, silly mannequins. Ha 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 ha. It's a callback to, like, Condemned, or Condemned 2 with the mannequins. If you turn away from them, they all face you. It's so fucking creepy. Oh my god. This is when they're in their element. This is when they're having fun. It's like some executive told them, but you gotta fill it with shooty shoots, where you shoot people. That's why people buy video games. People buy video games to shoot people, not to have like an entertainment experience that stands on its own. But so you shoot people. There's like nothing about this entire narrative that inherently leads to the conclusion that it's a game about shooting people. And yet that became the primary gameplay element? It's so confusing. Nothing about a weird, brutalist architecture haunted house full of SCP creatures and altered items inherently leads to the conclusion, and then you shoot a bunch of security guards that go pew, and then the cloud comes out of them. Woo. And then that's the primary gameplay for dozens of hours. It's completely at odds with the entire premise of the game. I'm so confused by this game's existence. Because I want to like the part that they actually wanted to make, but it's like Remedy doesn't... Because like Remedy keeps doing this now, so it's like Remedy themselves doesn't seem to be that interested in making video games, but more so these narratives and worlds. And then they're like, I don't know, what do we do to make it a game? I don't know, you shoot people? Yeah, I guess. Sure, let's shoot people. They couldn't come up with any other system than that. Which is just... It's just disappointing. I'm just disappointed in you guys, because you seem creative, but you're not when it comes to gameplay systems. Like, at all. Because, like, this is the year where my favorite game is The Outer Wilds. You don't shoot a single person in that game. And it's all about dealing with this kind of weird things of, like, using exploration and curiosity as a primary gameplay mechanic is what The Outer Wilds is. So then you see this and I'm like, what? And, like, the most anticipated game this year is a game about delivering packages as Norman Reedus while carrying a baby around. And it's like, Remedy's supposed to be leading the they're supposed to be one of the companies that lead the charge on weird, crazy ideas, but they're so left in the dust by their peers that are just better at this than them. But, you know, credit where credit's due. This is a cool room, and the chanting and the red lights and so on. Like, I don't hate this game. I'm just very frustrated with how it should be so much better than it is. Because Uncharted sold really well. Bright Falls supplement. Yep. Immediately I saw Alice Wake and I'm like, oh, I just picked up the Alan Wake reference document, didn't I? Alice Wake, Mr. Wake's wife, was found during the Bureau investigation. She was interviewed and evaluated. She showed signs of severe mental trauma in the form of memory loss. She was later directed to treatment. It was concluded that she had been trapped in the threshold during its manifestation. Notable individuals still missing after the Bright Falls event are FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale and Dr. Emil Herman. Referred to the Creator's Dilemma in the file in response to Cauldron Lake Lodge. Bureau researchers believe this event was the result of a forceful perception of subjective reality stemmed from Mr. Wake, overlapping on their own. Wake has been flagged as a potential peri-utilitarian. In 2011, a book by Clay Stewart titled The Alan Wake Files was published by Roundabout Press. Agents interviewed Clay Stewart and suspected minor peri-utilitarian sensitivity. He was placed under indefinite surveillance. A monitoring station was established at Cauldron Lake to alert the Bureau to any future activity. They're trying to say that the last two games they made are in the same universe as this one, and that they're all instances of what the FBC deals with. Altered items, thresholds, peri-utilitarians, all these other premises. In this case, yeah. They got caught in a threshold where subjective reality was broadcasted over objective reality because he was an author and his narrative version of the world was becoming the real world essentially, and all the characters and presumably the entire story were all trapped inside of a threshold. And that's how they explain the entirety of Alan Wake. And the ability to have entire alternate worlds be the settings of entire games leaves them wide open to making every game they ever make part of the Control universe. I have no idea where the mannequin is. Cleanse and contain the mannequin. What am I missing? Is there a glowing one somewhere? Because these guys don't respond. I can't hit F on them. So where is the mannequin? Oh, we're fighting things. Exciting. Anyway, back to the real game. Ah, god damn it. Go away. There, the percussion has ended. That means we're playing the real game again. Okay.
Ordinary. There's so much coming together in this one case. A new object of power, something we have not seen before. I mean, coming from me, that's saying something. The boy, Dylan Faden, prime candidate 6, and the sister as well. Once we catch up with her, but the boy, so much potential. We're talking Northmore level readings here, and I don't want to invoke his name. It's completely different circumstances here. It's remarkable. There was an incident. Yes. We lost a valuable member of our team, yes. Excessive force. Dylan has so much. But he's just a kid. I'll take the blame. He needs some slack. I mean, boys will be boys. He's exceptional and under a lot of stress. Roberts got killed. It's an unfortunate accident, that's all. Marshall needs to realize this. We will make this work. We'll make this work.
I feel like nothing better just shows the weird conflict of themes in this game. When it's like there's a cool old-timey projector showing creepy plot important evidence about what's going on with an FMV man and everything. And what do I do to get a better look at the thing? I point my gun at it. Bam, bam. Gun game. This game has guns. Bam. It's just weird. Boys will be boys. I'm confused about the nature. What am I looking at there? Is it showing me where the mannequin is? I'm confused about the nature of my brother's powers. So at that point, the hiss had not gotten here yet. But like, he had excessive force and could kill people apparently as a child. Apparently, it's interesting and also confusing because like, we had no evidence that my character had powers before this. Polaris seemed to guide her, but otherwise her only ability seemed to be... Nah, it was basically just her ability to resist the hiss or something? Because she spends the whole game resisting the hiss without ever wearing an HRA. That's about it. And then she's being guided by Polaris. She's very apt to adopting the powers of all of the different altered items to an extent that's beyond what normal people can do. Not altered items, objects of power. I mix those up constantly because they're not really that distinct. And also the game blurs the lines about what they mean, even when they're like, that happened from an altered item, that's supposed to only happen from an object of power. And I'm like, alright, so these distinctions don't matter anyway. It's basically what I took from when the game said that. But how is Dylan as a kid killing people? He must have fundamentally different powers, which the game basically never explored, because we still don't really know the nature of Dylan. We go to find him, and then he's just in a prison cell. We go to find him in one cell, and he's already in, and then it's like actually he's already gone. Now he's in this other cell, and then he's off camera the entire game until we suddenly rip the hiss out of him at the end. It's like that's underutilized, I would say. But something's going on here. Dylan Faden transcript. Subject was alone during this outburst. You again. I thought I told you to leave me alone. Why are you showing me this? I can't do anything. Can't you see where I am? Why don't you help me get the fuck out of here? You always show me things I can't do anything about. Stop showing me her. I don't care anymore. I don't care about you. You both left me here to rot. Fuck off, you bitch. I will dig out my own brains if it means getting rid of you. I don't want you here. Get the fucking message. Subject repeated the phrase fuck off numerous times before being sedated. Just him yelling at someone, even when no one's in the room, they still insisted on sedating him. That's how controlled he was, and how afraid of him they were. Hey, the rubber duck came up. I've seen that before. That's one of my objectives now. So that was him talking to Polaris. So Polaris was showing me to him. Maybe to try to express that I'm still out there, but he was not getting the right message from Polaris. It seems like Jesse has a better connection to Polaris and better understands what she's going for, or at least thinks she does, or has a more charitable response to it all. P6, victim autopsy. Blunt force injuries to the head and neck, extensive trauma to the abdominal region, lacerations and contusions in the upper and lower torso, fracture of the spinal cord between the L1 and L2 vertebrae, avulsion fracture of the 3rd through 10th ribs left and right, blunt force injuries in extremities, abrasions, lacerations and contusions to the extremities, dislocation of left and right elbow, dislocation of left and right knee. After examination, it was determined that the cause of death was internal bleeding that occurred when contorted during... Cool. Finally have a chance to get some context for his powers, but it's redacted. Really? Are we done? Nope, music's not done. Go away. I'm genuinely concerned that Remedy has not played a single shooter in the last 20 years. If they think this is like a wild and exciting time. Cause like, come on, man. Alright, so I'm still looking for a mannequin. I forgot about that because I got distracted by Dylan lore. Let's check these other rooms. My favorite.
I can see you're upset, Meg. Why don't you tell Uncle Mr. Bones what's wrong?
I did bad on my clairvoyance test.
You can't ace every test, Meg. You see, everyone has different brains. Some brains can talk to each other. We call this ESP.
ESP?
Some brains can lift objects, like a baseball. Talk about a fly ball, eh, Meg? No interruptions! So who cares if you fail your clairvoyance test? Maybe your brain can throw baseballs, or talk to dead people, or make friends blind. Once we know what your brains can do, we'll know what job to give you, And if your brains are just right, you'll get to sit in the big chair.
What if I don't want the big chair?
What if I don't want the big chair? Everyone wants the big chair, Hank! That's why we're all here. Use those brains to listen for once, or the only chair you'll get in is the one with straps.
Jesus Christ. I 100% absolutely need to track all of those down and show them to Stephanie. She needs to see the fucking nightmare that is the Threshold kids. Oh my god. That might be my favorite one. This nightmare instructor. It's a weird skull wearing a tiny doll face over part of their face, and just screams at you while pretending to be a parent figure. Bright Falls summary. An unconfirmed Threshold manifestation at Cauldron Lake, Washington, resulted in a fictional story written by the author Alan Wake creating an AWE in which reality was altered to match that of the story, though only locally and for a limited time. Mr. Kirkland, head of investigations, was alerted on September 13th, 2010 by ex-Bureau agent Frank Breaker that an AWE event was taking place in Bright Falls, Washington. Rest of the events of Baker had received a call from Barry Wheeler on behalf of Breaker's daughter, Sarah, who is the current sheriff of Bright Falls. A Bureau field team arrived at the site 2 days later, only to confirm that the event was over. Interviews were conducted. Alan Wake was believed to investigate. These are exhausting to read in this format. Eyewitness reports highlight an old light switch, possible object of power that was missing. Alan Wake was not found at the scene. Reports claim he dived into the lake, but no body was recovered in the search. I'm always curious. I played the game, but it was a long time ago, but I've never played American Nightmare. So they made an expansion / sequel thing. I wonder how those play with each other and what they mean exactly. It's an experience trying to parse the readables out of the text when you're trying to skip all the parentheticals that are just side notes and annotations. And then also amongst those are all these other like redactions of that stuff you actually do want to read but can't. Fun, exciting times with respawning enemies. It speaks to an insecurity, and this is not just specific to Control / Remedy, but just video games in general, is a failure to commit to what is often the artistic vision, and there are a fear of like we have to appeal to the masses as much as possible, and we're terrified that our audience of blubbering children won't be mature or sophisticated enough to enjoy our art completely on its own level. So we need to shoehorn things in that the wisdom tells us people enjoy. So it's like oh, you want to read case files and watch the Threshold kids and all these other creepy things and all this world building and interesting things. Pew 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 pew. Shoot. Loot. There's looting. Pick up your loot. Was the loot better or worse than the other loot? Oh, you're out of loot in space. You gotta get rid of your other loot. Borderlands. Destiny. It's just so frustrating because like as an art form, it holds the entire thing back to just shackle yourself to these ideas when it's clearly at odds with the entire product you're trying to make and the entire thing you're trying to express. It reminds me of when I was an idiot, which I still am, but a different idiot. I was in high school and I had to do a presentation for like 40 minutes straight about the Scarlet Letter. And I was terrified about that idea because it was just me and another person, and we were going to do like this presentation for like As far as I could tell, apparently an entire fucking class period. Like, it's a long time we were supposed to go for that for, and I'm like, to this day, I still think it's kind of an unreasonable expectation to place on your students. And maybe it was just unclear. Maybe they were just planning on giving us infinite time to do our presentation, and then they would just kind of come up with what to do afterwards. But we were under the impression that we actually had to fill up an entire class period with one presentation, which is a lot, especially when it's not like a presentation class where we're working up to that by learning how to do different presentations. So like I didn't make the greatest call, but I panicked. So what I did is I had intermissions throughout the video to break it up. And like, there were literally basically YouTube videos to entertain the class as breaks, both to pad for time and to distract them with something entertaining in the middle of the thing. But like, all it does is take away from the presentation. All you're doing is distracting people from the actual thing and conceding that you can't keep the room engaged with the actual subject of what you're doing, so you suddenly jump out and pull out a clown costume and get on your tricycle and honk 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 and make animal balloons wee to distract all the children in the middle of your presentation. And now back to the real thing. And like, that's what this stuff feels to me too. Okay, so we've been to this room because this is the Jesse room. Fuck, I only went through one doorway for a sec. God fucking damn it. This was play tested by someone and they were like, this is a good system. Repopulate the entire room with the same enemies over and over again because you stepped through a doorway for a second. Eh. This was just one this time. For real though, where is this mannequin? How do I... Like, I'm sorry if I'm sorry that I'm taking way too long on this, although I did, you know, do a bunch of story stuff just now that's just here by happenstance, so I'm sure that makes up for it to some extent. Who doesn't like a good rant? The comment section doesn't like a good rant. But this is a confusing quest. Cleanse and contain the mannequin. Okay, now the room contains 50 mannequins that don't interact. Oh.
New bureau policy. No more mannequins.
I did it. So there's one mannequin that doesn't turn towards you, I guess. That's probably what they're going for. A big crowded room. I would have had it done faster though if I didn't get distracted by story stuff, but I'm happy I got distracted by story stuff because that's the stuff I would like to find. It's good that this particular mission happened to bring me back towards those locations. They might have I'll even give them enough credit to think that that might have been intentional. They might have made an intentionally confusing quest that'll make you run around in circles for a bit. And it specifically was placed in the location where they put some of their most important lore. I might have been playing as intended, actually. Because they put several elements of ordinary story that's all optional. Because if you go through the intended path that you have to take to get to the main story, you only find Jesse's room. But then if I hang around and walk around in circles for a while, I'll find the Alan Wake documents, I'll find Dylan's documents, I'll find the Threshold kids. And this is a thing that people think about when they make games. So they very well may have intentionally put a run around in circles and be confused side quest in that room as like a second attempt to give you another chance to notice those things if you didn't notice them the first time. So we're back in the clock area. There's two different optional quests from Langston that both lead here. This time we're looking for a flamingo. That's funny. So they were originally trying to document this. They're putting like little chalk lines around them and like flags to like denote like, here's the magically spawning clocks. We need to document the craziness of what's happening here. This is an altered event. But then we saw the next room over where the whole area was completely filled with them. So like they essentially had to give up on that entire idea of trying to document this. Yep. But once upon a time, it was a thing that they thought they were approaching it by the standards that they approach everything else. Fuck off. Yay. Can you go back to being level 3 so at least you'll die in one headshot? That'll save me some time. Alright. That's a level 4. I feel a little bad throwing it away, so let's get rid of all the level 3s. And this level... I have a level 1? Why am I still getting level 1s? Go away. Ew. Oh, it's a personal mod. This is fun. Fun video game full of fun systems that totally complement the themes of the narrative. Yep. Alright. Where are you hiding the flamingo? I will find the flamingo. You can't keep it from me. You can only delay you can only delay the inevitable. Oh no. Ooh, it's pink. That's a good sign. This must be the flamingo. It's spooky how it's just like peeking around the corner at me.
That's got to be an altered item.
What the fuck? What a cool visual. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. What's the rule? Do I just need to fly all the way there? Don't touch the floor is lava. Is that what the pink flamingo is? The floor is lava? I can play this game. Aha!
This thing again.
Oh, we're doing this again.
You got into another altered item.
Former.
What does this thing want? Is it fighting the bull?
What does it want? Unlimited power. That's not good. That wasn't nice, Mr. Video Game. You destroyed the entire platform, I think. Floor-based hazards do not mix well when you're playing with a third-person camera and looking up, because the floor is not on the screen. And being on the screen is actually a kind of important part of the gameplay loop of avoiding hazards, is seeing them. Well, we get to see this visual again.
That's got to be an altered item.
It does warrant a rerun. Boop, boop.
This thing again.
I'll throw your balls back at you. Dude has range. I'll give him that. God damn. He was really far away.
Flamingos. Too pink.
I'm not like other girls.
Weird bulletproof room, but okay. What's up with that? What's the deal with glow square? Are you telling me something, game? Nope. I don't think they're telling me anything. I don't think it's a glow square that's secretly full of loot or whatever, or like the Necronomicon. Go away. Ah, the music just realized the fight started. Oh no, I just want to leave. Let me leave. Your buddy hit the wall. Protective studies. Closest area is ritual division. There we go. I'm glad I came back for this quest. Holy crap. We should have they should take the main campaign and just replace like a lot of it with this content and just graft the existing narrative onto that. The main story wasn't devoid of this stuff, but it was weirdly devoid of any of the special boss fights. And yeah, a lot of these visuals could have been used, these locations and settings and cool shit, instead of, you know, more and more wave-based survival gauntlets where you fight a bunch of dudes in a row. Rubber Decky! Yeah, I saw you before.
Altered item number 52AE analysis, session 2. I will begin by introducing various stimuli to the item. First, a low voltage electric shock. No response. Next, I will introduce heat via a standard Bunsen burner. No response. Next, a series of solutions will be applied, each with a different value on the pH scale, from 0 to 14. No response to any value. Next, I will attempt to communicate. Can you understand me? Can you understand my words? Quack if you can understand my words. No response. This concludes session 2. We'll need time to prepare further tests.
That's adorable. Quack, if you can respond to my, if you can understand my words. Kind of inherently assuming that that quacking is its response anyway. Ooh. You see the hiss coming out of it. Still, cleanse and contain the rubber duck. It's still in its cell. So that's confusing a little bit. About what I'm supposed to contain. I'm uncertain. Is there another rubber duck? I've been here before. Yep. Oh yeah, here's where these guys are.
You and Hedron were never one and the same. She...
So long as the hiss are out
helped
there.
Darling with the HRAs to slow the hiss down.
I'm kidding.
And it helped me learn to tap into this power I had inside. You.
So is she saying that Polaris and Hedron were never the same thing, despite the fact that she was thinking that originally? Is this one lady still up here? No, she's not here. I think she's the one that they said is missing. Not always easy to keep track of all the names, but I think that's who they were saying went missing.
MIT. How about you?
The tough lady that was running this place. Also MIT. Everyone's gone to MIT in these stories. But I heard a ducky. I think I heard a ducky? Yeah. Ahead of me is continuing. Yeah. Honk honk. What?
Disappearing ducks. Great.
Honk honk. Affleck. Affleck? What? Oh, he was there apparently. It even makes that sound. The It kind of explodes out of existence like a flare, doesn't it? Nope, it's not about looking at it. Maybe you need to fly at it? I don't know if I'm supposed to just keep chasing it until it gives up, or if there's a rule I'm supposed to follow. Some of these have rules. But it might be leading me somewhere. I don't think it quite came up here. It's not back in its cell. Huh. Too bad I can't just bring it to me with my powers. Okay, this is getting a little frustrating. What the fuck is the rule? Oh. Was it literally just chase it for...
Finally, no more quacking.
Wait, was that actually... Was I just supposed to chase it for a while and then you win? Or did I accidentally do the thing? I'm actually not sure if I accidentally did the thing or not. It'd be kind of nice. Could you imagine the chaos and weirdness if these kinds of objects were actually running free? The paradox here is that they're not running free, and they haven't been set loose upon the world. As far as I can tell, it's only when Langston tells you that they're lost, that they actually spawn into the world. Like, he has to tell you, there's a side quest to find this thing, and then suddenly this thing is set loose upon the world, so paradoxically the act of observing the quest is what makes it true. But what if when you're first time coming through here, there's just weird fucking things roaming around, and like maybe you eventually can find out via Langston that these things exist, but what if they were all very clearly problems roaming around, like the weird hand chair and stuff like that, and you could maybe even solve these problems on your own without having the context yet, and then find out later, like, oh, you found the duck, thank God. If you didn't get the duck, hundreds could have died.
Sir, I am required to inform you that all records are property of the Bureau, not of any one individual.
And I am required to inform you that the astral spike's origins may be a confidential matter and should not be inquired upon by low clearance personnel.
Would you two stop doing whatever it is you're doing? And I'm not low clearance.
Are they infected by altered item? They doing something weird? What's going on here?
When are we gonna drop this whole robot act?
Oh, no, they're fucking with them. Yep, they're fucking with them. Okay. I guess that's my answer. Yeah, it'd be just to mix up the overall gameplay. It'd be fun just to have these weird altered items roaming around before you even get told by this dude about them. Because this guy's pretty late in the story. But locking those up just doesn't seem like a great plan.
Sir, we are both pleased with our assignment.
That's great. Thank you.
I want a southern robot. The thermos procedures. No unique procedures required. Altered status is suspected but unverified. A blue coffee thermos with a white plastic cap and a logo of the Oh Dear Diner, located in Bright Falls, Washington. The cap doubles as a mug. Item responds to Formula I-16, yet no discernible altered effect has been discovered, other than keeping liquids warm for surprisingly long periods of time. It's also worth noting that the coffee from the thermos is always refreshing and strong no matter its quality before being poured into the item. The thermos was discovered on the shore of Cauldron Lake, outside of the town of Bright Falls. Both are known sites for occurring AWE. According to witness statements, Alan Wake, who went missing shortly before the discovery of the thermos, had been seen collecting similar thermoses for a purpose. Yeah, weren't thermoses like a collectible or something in that game? How is altered status suspect and unverified? If you pour coffee into it and it magically becomes different coffee, then it seems rather verified that it's an altered item. Just not a particularly exciting one, maybe. But a really convenient one. Can I have it?
Every altered item on your list is now back in the Panopticon, safe and sound.
That's a load off my mind. Missing altered items don't exactly reflect well on me, you know. Did they give you any trouble?
The flamingo pulled me into the astral plane just like the fridge did. That same creature was there.
I was looking over the old activity reports, and multiple items had been displaying much more destructive behavior in the past few weeks. There's some connection there, I bet, but it's a bit above my pay grade.
Well, something to keep an eye on.
And if I have any more runaways, I'll know just who to call.
I guess this is my life now.
I'll see you later, Langston.
I'll be here, like always.
I was anticipating the perfect moment to end this playthrough on, and nothing really summarizes that more than Jesse just being like, I guess this is my life now. Because that seems to be the basis of the narrative here, is that you kind of resolve the main problem, but you're still trapped in here indefinitely, and I assume you can never get out of here in the game itself, because I assume you can't solve the hiss problem. Otherwise, wow, the credits have rolled already? I don't think this game's pulling an automata, or actually there's 7 more endings or something that I'm supposed to do. So we just kind of leave her to it. She's always going to have more tasks. Always. I think that's the only thing that this narratively supports, is just the fact that we will never stop having hiss problems indefinitely. Oh, this one I mean, not that one. Mixed them up. So there will always be more tasks to do, and we're going to leave Jesse and her new hairdo to clean things up indefinitely. But we got to see all the exciting altered items. And yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, just kind of an inherently unsatisfying endpoint where you just kind of have to be like, I guess that's where we'll leave it. Because that's where the story seems to handle her, is just being like,
Since little Topher is taking a trip with his father into the world outside our wonderful bureau, I think it's a good time to talk about secrets. Who can tell me what a secret is?
It's something you hide from everyone so they don't get scared.
Partially correct, Topher. A secret is something you don't tell anyone outside the bureau, because people outside the bureau
Aren't ready for the truth of reality.
Very good. When you tell someone a secret, you're hurting their brains very badly. Now, let's review what exactly is or isn't a secret. First, we have a rainbow. Secret or not secret?
Not secret.
Correct. And the true version of rainbows?
Secret.
Correct. Cats?
Not secret.
Correct. And the alpine chimera?
Not secret.
Topher. Too many slip-ups and your father will have to go on vacation without you. You don't want to end up like Meg, do you?
What? What happened to Meg?
I I'm not allowed to go outside anymore.
Correct.
Now that I've played both games, I can finally watch the Jacob Geller video on Control and Anatomy. Won't you join me?
In the psychology of the modern civilized human being, it is difficult to overstate the significance of the house.